New year, same weird, you know? Welcome back, ghouls and gals. Today, we are on part 23 of our series here, going over the weird, the underrated, the underrecommended horror movies that nobody's talking about. And now I have a podcast corresponding to this series. That is the secret project that I was talking about. So every Wednesday, you can join me to Get Weird, where every week we will break down one film from this list, because every time we do one of these, I double, triple dog dare you to watch every single one of these movies. So why don't I just do it myself? So today we are adding 10 more movies, making the total 230 movies in this list already. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give this a thumbs up, subscribe for more, check out all of my links down below if you would like to see any more of me or support the channel any further. I really tried once again to talk about 10 films that really nobody is talking about, that are not on anybody's radar, with the exception of maybe a few. I know there are some here and there that you guys are weirdos like me and would know. And I also would like to make the disclaimer right off the bat, once again, we do not yuck anybody's yum around here. So even if I'm recommending a movie that I don't personally like, it doesn't mean that you won't like it. And that's the one thing I think is interesting about movies and movie tastes, is something that I think is absolute garbage you might love. At number 10, let's start off with comedy horror Cannibal Comedian from 2023. A psychopathic cannibal, fed up with his lack of ambition, tries his hand at stand-up comedy in an attempt to satisfy his need for normalcy. And really quickly, all of the effects in this movie are done with food-based practical effects. So you know that they are eating things, they are getting real gross in this one. Moving into Dead Talent Society from 2024, when ghosts must compete to survive in the underworld by haunting the living, one unassuming young woman needs help creating a lasting presence while under the care of a passionate agent and a washed-up diva. This movie is structured to parody real-world entertainment and reality shows and influencer culture, and the ghosts have to stay relevant to survive. Next up is a film called Impuratus from 2022, where a police detective is summoned to a remote hospital where a mysterious Civil War veteran's outrageous deathbed confession forces him to accept the supernatural. Now, for those of you who are like Alex and who grew up in Pennsylvania, this was filmed at Penhurst State School and Hospital. Now at number 7, I feel like you guys may have heard of Sister Death from 2023. In Spain, 1949, Narcisa, a novice, arrives at an old convent converted into a girls' school in order to work as a teacher. This film is connected to Veronica. I believe that came out in 2017, notoriously hated by me. I just didn't think it lived up to the scares, and I don't know if I'm ready to open myself to another film in this universe, but because we're doing the podcast, I'm going to have to watch it eventually. But anyways, next is Altered Minds from 2014. A family reunion goes awry when the eldest son makes the accusation that his dying father, a famed psychiatrist who did work for the CIA, adopted his children for the purpose of mind control experiments. And the original title for this movie was Red Robin, because there is a lot of imagery of that throughout the film, but it was changed to reflect the themes in the movie a little more, and I think it was good, a good title change. I simply cannot believe that I am recommending this next one, but this is why I made the disclaimer of not yucking anybody's yum, because let's talk about The Intruder from 2019, a psychological thriller about a young married couple who buy a home in Napa Valley, a house on several acres of land, only to find out that the man who they bought it from refuses to let go of the property. This movie has a wild cast. Michael Ealy, Megan Good, who I absolutely had like the biggest crush on growing up, but Dennis Quaid? Like, this is such a joke. But anyways, this movie is for someone. There is someone out there who probably enjoyed this one. But at number 4, I will let you know this film is a little more on the disturbing side. Feed from 2005. A cybercrime investigator tracks a man suspected of force-feeding people to death. And the tagline for this movie is, "Can you stomach it?" So, we'll find out. Okay, at number 3, let's talk about the movie Axed from 2012. A strict father loosens up enough to let his kids take a day off school for a trip to the countryside. But things turn darker when the family realize he is planning to make it their last outing ever. This is a Fangoria release, and they did release a few films. This is called Fangoria Axed, so maybe if you can't find a movie called Axed, look for Fangoria Axed, but I think that's pretty cool. Okay, you know I had to have an 80s film on this list. From 1980, Night of the Zombies. A rat causes a chemical leak at a Papua New Guinea research facility, leading to a group of eco-terrorists to demand a closure of all the facilities. But when a team of Interpol commandos are enlisted to interfere, they find themselves embroiled in a zombie outbreak. This film contains real, actual burial service footage taken from the documentary Des Morts from 1979, the year previous, so if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, maybe skip this one. But at number 1, let's wrap this up with Hagazussa from 2017. After the loss of her tormented mother, the erratic behavior of a 15th century woman living in an isolated mountain village becomes a threat to the safety of her infant child. This film was the director's graduation project from a film academy in Berlin, which I think is so cool, and I also think this would make a fantastic double feature with The Witch. So there we have it, 10 more films I hope that you've never heard of. I really do try to go out of my way to curate this list in such a specific way. I'm really enjoying finding all of these movies. I have so many more to talk about, so maybe we'll double up on one of these lists one month. So I will see you in my next video. I am so excited. Technically, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, my next video should be the next episode of our pod. After that, we're getting right into Giallo January, so stay tuned for all of that, because that is something I'm really excited to get into. I look forward to celebrating the Giallo movies in January because it just feels right, you know, when everybody's celebrating Giallo January. It's really cool to just embroil ourselves in these kind of movies. So I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. I hope that you check out the Letterboxd list, link down below, and find yourself a gem to watch today. So I'll see you soon. Sayonara, Spooky fam.